Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. To all the RipRightHD disciples, YouTubers, and viewers, man. Welcome back to a new video on RipRightHD. Today I'm going to Jersey to go meet up with the CEO and founder of Boss Life Athletics, man. It's going to be a crazy set. Stay tuned. Stay ripped.
هذا حد العالم، هذا طالب، هذا راسخ والى اخره.
Yo, we made it, man. Boss Life or no life. What's going on, guys? So we got a crazy set going on today with Boss Life Athletics. First, we're doing 5 muscle ups right into 15 straight bar dips, then 15 pull-ups, man. This is a monster set, and we did this for 5 sets before we moved on to the weighted and non-weighted routine, man. Check it out. Watch us work. Burn out supersets. Lift iron. Forget excuses. That's what Boss Life stands for. Check us out, man. Hope y'all enjoy this video. It was a tough set, pretty long, but it was well worth it. The next day, I was tore up from the flow up.
So while as African Americans, our entire culture is defined by a small minority from amongst us as, being degenerate, as being dysfunctional, right? Our entire culture is defined by that. You'll find, other cultures have the same levels of dysfunction, degeneracy, right? Deplorable, immoral immorality. They have it. However, their culture is never defined by that. But they'll tell you that we are the worst of the people. You know what I mean? We are the worst of the American population. And this starts with this whole
Now, I want y'all to watch closely, man. This is TD. Guaranteed, man. His muscle ups are on point, and I'm trying to get him for a video so I can give y'all guys a muscle up tutorial. He won so many championships when it comes to muscling up, and he gave me some tips that I want to share with y'all, but I'd rather have him on the video so he can actually give y'all the nitty gritty on how he was able to master the muscle up with such clean form.
Black on black crime, right? When a white person kills another white person, they never say white on white crime, but it's always black on black crime in the ghettos, in the hood. Well, if we're all poor people living in an environment, like, who else is going to do the killing? Who else is going to do the killing? But you'll never hear that term used for any other culture. Meanwhile, what Asians, what Chinese people are doing in China to other Chinese people, you will never hear Chinese on Chinese crime. That is a slogan. That is a phrase that has been, relegated to African Americans. Caucasians have wiped out an entire generation of other Caucasians. Are you under the guise of the cross, under the guise of Christianity?
Okay, for the record, guys, I know I got white viewers, I got Spanish, we got black. Man, I got them from all over, so I don't want y'all to think I'm racist and I hate the white man or this. No, it's just a lecture I put on. It was some basic knowledge, and he's giving how systematically they, came with the Rockefeller law and the drug laws, and, how people coming over here looking at the African American black and think that, we're all lazy and things like that. So he was just giving up some facts, man. So if you're white and you're viewing this, don't be offended. Know that I'm Muslim, man, and I have white Muslim brothers. I have a RipRight segment in Oregon. All my white bros, man. Shout out to little Debo. He's running that joint crazy out there. Double R. Oh, you hear me? RipRight Oregon in the building. My boy Cram Calisthenics, man. Y'all stay tuned for the weighted segment.
Did you not see the Civil War that went on here in America? Did you not do any research, any history? Right? When it was black people that was on crack cocaine, it was put them in jail, put them in prison. Many of our parents, have felony convictions right now because they were caught with crack cocaine. If you lived in New York and they had the Rockefeller law, your father or your mother was given, 3 to 5 years, or, 5 to life, the Rockefeller law, just for one vial of crack cocaine. Put them in prison. That was the solution to that. But now that we have white people on opioids, we have an opioid crisis, right? But when you go back to the 80s, they called it a crack epidemic, right? Understand the language, because there's a certain language that applies to us that don't apply to other people. It's a crack epidemic. But now, in today's time, white children, are now being addicted to opioids, right? Crystal meth and all of these other, Molly and all of these other drugs, right? We have an opioid crisis. Right. So what do we do with an opioid crisis? What do we do with a crack epidemic? We get rid of all of the people that are on crack, put them in jail. What do we do with an opioid crisis? We start to provide services. You understand? We provide services. So now we're opening up all types of drug rehab centers. We're counseling. You follow me? Like, there's a different. This serves the agenda of the hegemony, right? To continuously discredit and to shape the way the world views African Americans. And that is what toxic people do. When they can't control you, they control how other people see you. So the fact that you had to let us go from slavery, you no longer controlled us.
Okay, this second set was a major set. 70 pound pull-ups. So for 5 reps, then you do 5 muscle-ups, then 100 pound 5 dips, then right back to 5 muscle-ups. You're going back to back doing that set. And we're doing this for 5 sets. I want to say shout out to Snoop, man. Lightweight like me. Been in the game for about 5 years, I believe. The first one to put me on to BarBarians, to put me on to high sets, high reps, and these monster sets, and resting long and being able to get that muscle endurance. I call him the Push King. I did a few of his challenges, and I'm telling you, there's there's none like him in the game right now at lightweight. Look at him with 100 pounds, man. Shout out to Snoop Gold Wings, man. I took my hat to him. And he works, man. And that's just the bottom line, man. Give credit when credit's due. The man puts it in. So watch us, man. I had to drop from the 100 pound dips to the 70 pound dips. It was that difficult. Monster sets. Take notes.
We had Black Wall Street. We had, we just leave us alone and we can develop our own. You understand? But no, we're going to let you go from slavery. We don't control you anymore. But now we're going to control how people see you. You understand? So, and this is what toxic people do. When they can't control you, they control how other people see you. And this is exactly what the news media is about. This is exactly what movies are about. This is what that depict African Americans as nothing more than slave. All this slave narrative, these slave movies that continuously keep coming out, and you guys keep supporting, right? Because we love entertainment. So you go see the Harriet Tubman movie, it's pure entertainment. I would never spend a dime of my money on that. Go read a book. Go read her history. Her biography has been documented, authentically documented, certified. Hollywood gets a hold of it. Obviously, they're going to embellish it. They're going to put stuff in it because the overall objective is to paint African Americans as inferior.
Okay, so this is self-explanatory. So what LaVogue did, CEO and founder of Boss Life, is he took it double. So he did 10 reps of the 100 pounds, and he did it for 5 sets because all of us did the 5 sets. So he also did deadlifts after. It was only him and Kato that stuck to the deadlifts. I didn't touch that weight in particular. Another beast, man, in the game. He's tearing it up, and he got a nice gym out there in Jersey, man. If y'all from New York, New Jersey, Definitely gotta pay a visit in. Yeah, definitely gotta do a set with him. Tough, man.
It's to paint us as criminals, to paint us as, lawbreakers. So it only justifies your eyes. It justifies in your mind when a police officer kills an African American. In your mind, you believe, well, they break the law anyway. As you hear people say all the time, well, you should have just followed the police officer's instructions. How many African Americans have been murdered following the police officer's instructions? But these are subliminal messages that are planted into your head under the guise of entertainment so that you continuously see us in this light. Absentee dads is the actual term.
So y'all already know with the 70 pounds, I had to break my set on the pull-ups. It was supposed to be 5 pull-ups. I think I was able to get 4. Yep. And then I had to come down, and then I had to get one. I should have let the bar go right here, but I held on to it and exhausted all my energy getting 3/4 of the way up. You never do that. If you know you can't get it, just get down. If you can't do the set unbroken. Okay, so on this one, I think this was my second or third set. I went over and I did the dips with the 70 pounds instead of doing it with the 100 pounds. My first set, I tried the 100-pound dip. I was only able to get, I think, 2. And then after that, I had to do 1, 1, 1 just to get my 5 in. The weight was way too heavy for me. It was a tough set. I'm saying the next day after this and the day after the next day. Woo! My lats was on fire. And my chest as well, yeah.
To say, oh, there's a whole great group of people, whole race of people who don't know their fathers is very dismissive, very disrespectful, very insensitive. All right. Do you know what it's like to you probably don't. For all of the cultures who believe that African American dads are just somehow missing for no reason other than the fact that these are just lazy and they don't want to take care of their children. Do you know what it's like to grow up without a father? You playing with a very sensitive issue. There are grown men right now who did not grow up with their fathers that are still reconciling issues from their childhood due to not having their fathers around. Do you know what that's like? Do you know what it's like not to grow up with a father? Do you know what that feels like? Then the Prophet ﷺ said that perhaps a man may utter a word, speak a word, and he will not even pay attention to the seriousness of what he's saying, and it will land him in the hellfire the distance of 70 years. Just one kalima, one sentence. First of all, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ never met his father. So you want to talk about somebody who grew up without a father. You let's start with your last prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam. And that was an honor for him. That was an honor for him because he was going to go through life and gain the lessons that his father could have given him so easily. But he's now going to learn those lessons in a more difficult and a more challenging way, which builds character. Struggle builds character. You understand? Absentee dads exist in every culture. You know what I mean? And for many different reasons. We can't just shame a whole group of people because they grew up without their fathers. You don't know what that person's why is. You don't know what their condition was. You don't know what their situation was. Don't you know that during the Ronald Reagan, presidential campaign, he used the war on drugs.
So if you pay attention to that set, he did like dead hang muscle ups. So he was slow, I mean fast coming down, but for the most part he's paused on the down for about 2 seconds. And what he told me is, okay, on the next round, which is the same set when he has to do the 5 muscle ups at the end right after these dips, he was going to do a new style of muscle ups. I believe it was going up and coming down slow. So the first one, he did the 2-second dead hang. And watch the grip, man. It's called a semi-force grip, but I learned from somebody that was there yesterday, they also call it the iron wrist. We're going to get into that in our muscle up tutorial once I get out there and I get TD. Look at the form is just so clean, man. And mind you, he's 47, man. No excuses.
Which was actually a war on the black family A war on the black family under the guise of the war on drugs. He ran his entire campaign on the war on drugs, which was in fact a war on the black family.
Indeed, in the body, literal translation, is a lump of flesh, a piece of meat. إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. And when that lump of